sometimes a show of strength exposes your true weakness, right? Or a twisting of a situation exposes your true insecurities, right? I'll give it to you like this, right? I was watching Baki the other night, right? And I've watched all the seasons, the original show to the new one, right? And Baki, the show, has this hang-up about boxers, right? People that box, right? Because it's a martial arts show, right? And there's this stigma in the martial arts world that's been there for a long time, right? Whether it's Kung Fu, Karate, Kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever it is, right? The Eastern world and the Western world, they have this thing, right? You can see in old movies, right? Even in historical events, boxers and Kung Fu people or whatever have had exhibition fights, and usually boxing styles win, right? Kickboxing and boxing styles win because they're the most direct and not designed to be art per se, even though they are definitely art, right? But that aside, right? Baki is constantly niggling at the idea of boxing being inferior to martial arts, right? And it's a stupid thing to do, right? And not only is this one layer of it, yeah, there's a secondary layer of this, right? Where the Japanese, I don't know if they're Japanese actually, but whoever makes this, yeah, they have a hang-up about black people, right? And you obviously, most people understand that black people are one of the biggest audience and consumers of Eastern art, right? Be it film, be it music, be it TV, be it anime and manga. Yeah, we are some of the biggest consumers outside of their primary market, right? It has been that way, right? There's layers of politics to it and identity politics that go to it. Being able to identify with something that's so external to what you're being fed where you are. There's a whole host of layers to it, right? And I'll get into another time, right? But their hang-up of making boxers look a certain way in their show, right? And making black people in particular look a certain way in their show and act a certain way, have certain writings happen to their characters, actually expose the insecurity, right? The major fatal flaw in the way they think, right? Because when you can't defeat something face to face, right, or directly, you have to use subversive tactics to do it, right? And usually, if your enemy doesn't know they're your enemy, they're not going to be trying to actively combat you or destroy you, right? They're just going to be minding their business, right? Literally just minding their business while you're jumping around trying to distract and destroy them, right? Now, inadvertently, that is what Baki has been doing in the show, and it's nothing against them because I appreciate the art of manga and anime, right? I like the storytelling, I like the showmanship of it, right? The art of it, the craft of it. But it's a fatal flaw where their show of power, by them being able to direct the story and the narrative, actually exposes the chink in the armor, right? The weakness of the style that they have, right? The weakness in the ideology and the way they see people is exposed by them over projecting their dominance or superiority to this race and this style of fighting, right? It's a very subtle thing, but you have to look at it like this, right? In Baki, they have this thing of using versions of people, like the real people, right? They'll take a real historical figure and they'll put them in the show and they'll just switch their name up a little bit, right? But they'll give characteristics of this person, right? They'll make them into a caricature of their self, right? And you'll notice how they treat people of different races, right? The ethnicity thing with the blacks, right? And the boxing thing with the styles, right? We know that even to today, yeah, if you put a Shaolin Kung Fu person in the ring with a boxer or a kickboxer or someone like that, right, their styles are not compatible, right? The boxing style and the kickboxing style is made to damage you without taking damage, right? It's not made to be artistic in any way, right? It's made to do serious combat, right? And I'm not taking away from Kung Fu and none of those styles. They have their purpose too. Their original purpose was for that too, right? But warfare has changed, right? And fighting styles have been elevated, right? And they've been deconstructed down to their base formulas to make them more potent, right? So all I'm saying is this. Sometimes your display of power and your twisting of narrative really just exposes your own insecurity and weakness in an area, right? There's nothing to be ashamed about because we all do it, right? But for a wise man, you can look at it and see it, and then you can also look in yourself and see where you do it too, right? Your projecting is actually revealing your insecurity, right? So it's just a quick lesson to take from that. Do with it what you will, right?